Very rare. Just work meetings sometimes.
Dude, how come with your headphones, one side's red and one side's blue? What madness
This
is
is
that?
this is my son's
That's annoying as shit. I've never
it's
seen
his
that before.
Nintendo
I want to smash it.
headphone.
And what's that shirt you're wearing? Are they pajamas?
This is like a athletic pullover hood.
What's athletic about a pullover? You're obviously not running hard enough if you've got a pullover.
Well, I was doing a little morning workout.
No way.
Just a little bit, nothing crazy.
Well, like on a treadmill or something, bike. What do you got?
I have a Bowflex and
I
I
don't
just
know.
do free weights.
What's a Bowflex?
It's got like resistance kind of deal. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, right.
You would love it.
I don't think I would. I don't
So
like.
did your cricket club or what do you call it? A club or a team?
It's the T20 local series, or local as in Australia. I'm not a big T20 guy. It's not the proper cricket, but it's some sort of cricket. You don't care at all, do you?
Did you play? No. Did you play cricket?
No, when I was young, this is a sad and true story. My mum and dad both worked long hours, and I was the third child. And they said, "You don't want to play sports, do you?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And they said, "We can't take you." So we
Wow.
played local games, like neighborhood games, street games a lot. And I'd get dropped out to my grandparents' house. They lived out at the beach. So I took up surfing basically. But yeah, I never got to play anything. That's a sad
Wow.
story, isn't it?
Is this a very special Brown Snake interview series where we hear about your damaged childhood?
Oh, what can you do, man? Fuck it. But
If we had like a technical nerd, we could have a violin playing and you could tell the story.
yeah, that's a question. I'm just giving you the answer, mate. Do your kids play sport? Any sport?
Yeah, they both play soccer or football, whatever you want to call it.
That's not a sport. I mean a sport.
That's the sport they play. And I'm happy that they're out there running around. That's as happy as I can be.
What position do they play?
My daughter's a striker and my son plays defense.
Yeah, are they any good?
No,
Are they passionate about it?
no,
Are they super fit?
no.
Are they
My
leaders?
son's fast. My son's faster than everybody, so I say use your speed. And my daughter's tougher than everybody, so I say use your toughness. She gets goals and he gets stops, and that's as good as I can hope for. Skill
You got a
wise, they're
tough
not that good.
daughter.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
You should
she's
get her
tough as
into
nails.
like karate or something and beat people up.
I thought about it, but that's not feminine.
Yeah, you want a traditional daughter.
She's not like that, but she's tough. So I'm just gonna let her take it out on the soccer field.
Yeah, my daughter's 7, my youngest daughter, and she's into skincare. Just looking after skin and telling me all about it. And it's
How
like,
ironic is that?
I know, right? But maybe I'll set an example of what not to do and they go against you.
Yeah, this is her way of rebelling.
But I mean, my wife never goes outside. She's got nice skin, which she should because she's a woman. But, men are expected to be rugged. Women are sort of not.
Speaking of women, so you pissed a woman off today?
Well, it was a couple of days ago. But
You're still thinking about it though.
I was just interested in it. Because, can you talk to your wife about someone else's marriage or someone else has had a problem or whatever? And you talk
Sure.
about it and go, what would you do? Or how would you feel about that? And we don't get passionate about it. It's not a big deal. It's not us. So as a couple, we can do that. But these other two could not do that. They started spazzing. So it was fun.
Right in front of you?
Yeah, it was great. So I'll tell you the story, right?
Okay.
My wife's work colleague, Jade, her husband does fly in, fly out in the mines. You know what that is?
No, explain it.
Well, Australia's got a shitload of big mines and they're in the middle of nowhere. So they're desperate for workers. So they do fly in, fly out. So you get flown in by the cost of the miner for a couple of weeks and you work in a remote area away from your family. They fly you back and you have like 2 weeks off. So
Okay.
it's called fly in, fly out. So for 2 weeks, you're living in an isolated shithole. They might have a gym, but basically you're in these little cabins by yourself, and you just work out on your ab master or whatever you said you did. But yeah, so they were, what do you call it when you telephone FaceTiming each other. And he just casually, because they got a couple of kids like he just casually reached across and got his vape and started vaping. And she goes, "Why are you vaping?" Because they're pretty fit young people. And she was horrified. And he's going, "Oh, I just started," And she's like, "Why wouldn't you tell me?" And she started flipping out. So she was so mad. She hung up on him, wouldn't return his text for hours, was furious. And my wife's like, "Rightly so." And I'm like, "Yeah, but maybe that anger and that reaction is why you didn't tell her in the first place." That's a decent philosophy, isn't it?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Anyway, so when we're talking to the other couple, this my sister-in-law was saying it's a betrayal. It's a betrayal of their marriage. And I'm
What?
like, is it? And she's like, yeah, because he's choosing to do something that could kill him and not be healthy, and he didn't talk to her about it. So she sees it as a betrayal, a hard betrayal. And I don't. I think it's like, he might be depressed, he might be sad. Those mining guys are all hard drinking, vapey sort
Yeah,
of
rough
guys.
job, right? Part of the
Yeah,
occupation.
yeah. And shouldn't she reflect that? Why couldn't he talk to her? Why doesn't he tell her everything? There's got to be someone on her as well as it's a couple, right? And she just started spazzing, going, "No, it's a betrayal." And then my brother-in-law started trying to argue my point, and then I said, "Well, like, is it betrayal when a woman puts on weight because she's put on weight, she's lost fitness, she's betraying the family? Then isn't that fair? Because she's not
No.
looking after her health, and because she's a larger girl, it started to spiral quite quickly. Where do you stand,
Oh.
Max?
So the sister-in-law is a larger girl.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I threw
And you
that in
mentioned
there.
this in front of her?
Of course, I put it to her because she's a massive hypocrite. Because
Massive is the key word.
what's worse, right? I don't know what's worse health wise. You're a health expert and my lawyer. I'll ask you: is it worse to vape or to be fat and unfit for your health?
Well, I think they're the same. I think you do have a point in the sense that if she's okay, here's the big question. Was she fat? I mean, everybody gains weight, but was she fat when they got married?
Yeah,
So he knew he was buying the cow,
yeah, but she was younger then, and like she's
but you could see
continued.
it coming, kind of thing.
Oh, definitely. And the health problems are becoming more apparent from that. There's becoming more and more health problems from that. That they keep saying you really need to address this, and it hasn't been addressed. So to me, how dare you call out the vaping?
The vaping, both things are detrimental to your health. I could see where you're seeing where you're equating the two. But because she was fat when they got married, it's not a betrayal because she's not doing anything in secret behind his back, like shoving chocolate in her face or anything like that. He knew what he was getting into.
But it's a betrayal to the family to die. Like people die by accident. What can you do? If you
So
if you
is the
smoke and
betrayal
take
the
risks,
health?
well, you're betraying. If you die by being reckless, say, if you become, I don't know, a drink driver and you crash and die, you've let your kids down, you've let your wife down, right? You were reckless and stupid. You didn't put your kids first. You didn't put your wife first. You put your,
True.
yeah. So what's the difference when you become fat and unfit?
You're right. You make a good point. You should take care of yourself. You were just mocking me for working out in the morning, but yes,
Well, it's just the way you work out so gay.
I do.
Hey, just go outside and do some yard work like a man.
You got to remember, I'm in the northern hemisphere. It's freezing right now.
Yeah, but you've got to remember, you've got these things called freedom of movement, and you can move wherever the fuck you want. It's not like nothing we can do. We're in a shithole. Can't leave.
Can't go outside. Oh, you're saying I should change locations.
Yeah, it's a shithole.
How close is what is it, Tyree or where are you from?
It's not a thing we talk about, but it's
Oh, I'm sorry.
how close is it to what?
To where you grew up.
No, I grew up here and I moved to Sydney for a few years, but I moved back. Right. So I grew up here, which is a very small town. It's a beachy, farmy area.
Right.
And surprisingly, it made me a bit sort of loose with the fashion, unlike you. It's a bit, and then moving to Sydney was a massive culture shock. But then after a few years, I got sick of it and I moved home.
What do they wear shoes in Sydney?
Dude, the first time I'm in Sydney, I'm walking down in the corner store. What do you call a corner store? The
Corner store, yeah,
bodega? Who
that'll
fucking
work.
knows?
Bodega.
I don't know. I've listened to a lot of podcasts from America. So anyway, I was walking down in bare feet, as you do, to get some milk and shit. And I see a heroin needle on the sidewalk, and I'm like, oh, that's a problem. Yeah. So I had to start wearing flip-flops to go to the shops.
Oh my God, that must have been torture.
It's a culture shock.
Is that why you moved back? Or was there other?
No, thing is about the city, right? Unless you're on top money when you're young, it's really fucking hard. Um, you've got no money and all your money goes to rent and transport and everything's a long way away. You think it'd be easy. Oh, there's so many things to do, but you've got to travel everywhere to do everything. It's actually less convenient. And
So the culture and the finances and
yeah,
it didn't work
it's
out for
fun for a couple of years to get drunk with your friends and go to all these places and do a lot of stuff. And then you start to go, what am I doing? Because I miss the good beaches. I miss the outdoor lifestyle of this area. You can't go fishing in the city. It's all poisonous shit. And so I come home and I
Can you
went to the
surf in
beach.
Sydney?
Hmm? What's that?
Can you surf in Sydney? Can you surf?
When I when I lived at the beach in Sydney, and the first time I went to the beach, I saw a poo floating by, and I said to this dude that I was with, I'm like, "What the fuck's this?" And he goes, "Oh, they got these outfall pipes that the sewage comes out when it's overflowing." I'm like,
Oh,
"What?" They eventually fixed all that and they pumped it out to sea after a few
like
years
a
after.
human poo.
Correct, yeah. Now I don't know if some dude did it in the surf or whatever. I don't know, but I'm like, this isn't the beach for me.
Oh,
I'm not
human
in
poo and
India.
heroin needles.
It's a different world, isn't it?
So yeah, I think we're sometimes where you grow accustomed to where you're from and you don't want to leave.
So you like the heroin needles.
I live in a suburb.
You like being inside on your Abmaster and your indoors.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you then.
I like the snow. I like the cold, the seasons. It's
So
nice.
suburbia doesn't get you down?
No,
You never
no, I mean,
craved to buy a farm in the middle of nowhere in the, on the mountains,
it
live
would
off
be
the
nice,
grid.
but it seems like a lot of work and I feel like I'd be driving to the conveniences I once liked.
Like what?
Just being around people or family, friends, running up to the store for something.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I
Yeah, no.
crave it. I want it. My wife hates it though. She said she'll never move to a farm or anywhere isolated. She wants your decadent lifestyle too. So I got to wait till she dies, and I'll wait.
Well, good luck. Start feeding her
Thanks.
more food or letting her vape.
That's a betrayal. So
So, how long did this argument go on for?
it got very heated, and they left, and then they had a big fight when they went home, which I think is hilarious. Do you think that's funny?
That they would get so worked up over it. Maybe there was something else going on. I mean, or
Nah,
was it
I
the
asked
weight
that.
thing?
I'm like, none of us vape. Like, it's not that big a deal. Like, it's not us. It's just like hung up on the betrayal of it. Betrayal's interesting, isn't it? Is it a betrayal?
It is.
Because people, like, are you saying you can't change in a relationship, or you can't make a mistake, or you can't, as you age, you're going to change. Couples change. So I think the couples that have to pretend to their partner to be someone that they're not deep down, that's a weak long-term strategy. I
But
don't
do you think couples should have some things that they don't need to tell
without
each
question.
other?
Without question.
Would you be upset if your spouse had something going on that she didn't tell you about?
Well, to what degree? Like if she was a junkie, I'd be like, that's odd.
If she had some sort of behavior, I'm trying to think of something that would equate to the vaping. I don't,
What do you got?
what if she was vaping?
I'd be very surprised because she's such a dork. But
What if you
honestly,
looked in her purse one day
who gives a shit if she vapes? I'll get
and
the
you see a
farm
vape
earlier.
pen? Yeah, but is it the vaping that would piss you off, or the fact that like she hid it from you?
Honestly wouldn't give a shit. I'd
I
be
don't
like,
like
what are you?
people hiding things from
I'd
me.
be like, what are you doing with the vaping? I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, a kid? Like, what are you doing? And then she'd be like, oh, well, I'm vaping now. And I'm like, yeah, all right, just don't try not to do it in front of the kids or something. Like, that'd be about it. I couldn't give a shit. I'm pretty loosey goosey when it comes to that sort of shit.
Okay,
What would
I
it
think
bother
I would be
you?
upset
You'd be upset.
a little bit, yeah,
Why?
because like I wouldn't care. I mean, I guess I would. I wouldn't want her vaping, but
If you
I would
don't
just be
care,
like,
how can you
why are
get
you
upset?
doing this behind my back? Why are you keeping a secret from
Because
me?
you're a
If you're
dick.
keeping a secret about something like this, what else are you keeping a secret about?
Oh, you've got the paranoia going on.
Well, I think people have behaviors that if they're doing something deceptive, maybe that's part of their personality. And yeah, you got to think, what else are they doing deceptively?
So you're saying if you secretly vape, you could be a cheater.
You could be a cheater. You could have other secrets,
What other secrets are there?
maybe financial,
Murder.
murder. Ooh,
Is
this podcast just took a turn.
that a real plan in the background?
Yes,
It looks pretty healthy for an indoor plan.
it's not doing too well.
It's not that bad. I'm impressed.
I took it outside in the summer, and
Uh,
in the sun, it looks like shit.
okay.
And I have a few other dead ones here, but I'm not even going to show you.
So you can see why I found it hard to explain that question, and it's just complicated. There's layers to it. And
Well, you could
subtle.
say if you found your spouse vaping that was a vapor, would you consider it betrayal?
Well, you can say it's somewhat of a trial, but you don't need to spaz like a loser over it.
No, it doesn't seem to be anything, but maybe they had some other shit going on.
Like what?
Maybe one of them did some betrayal shit at one point in their relationship they're still trying to get over.
Maybe. I don't see it.
No, they're not too fun.
Yeah, pretty straighty 180. I can't see it.
Plus, she's all fat. So, like, what's she doing?
I wouldn't say she's that fat for me.
You were the one who told me she was fat.
But fat is a sliding scale, Max. My fat might be your fat. You know, I'm very
Yep.
strict.
I noticed your rankings are very, very harsh.
I don't like the thicker gals like you Americans do.
I mean, I agree with you most times, but you don't like any kind of thickness.
No, that's right.
So this sister-in-law, is she beyond what an American would think is heavy?
I don't know what Americans think. How can
You
I put
just told
myself?
me you did.
How can I put myself in that position?
I feel like you kind of obsess over what Americans think.
Do I? That's
Yeah,
because
you
you're
always
American.
you go, oh, the Americans do this and the Americans do. Americans never sit around and talk about Australians.
Well, that I do that as a mock of Americans because you hear Americans say about Australia, you've got no guns or you've given up your rights or this and that. So I just fuck around with it as a
You
play
like
on.
the fucker.
Yeah, 100%. I don't give a shit.
Is it interesting that you've found on social media a lot of American friends or people that you interact with?
I got a lot of Australian friends on social media.
Do you? What's the percentage, would you say?
Probably 10% Australian. Because then, you might be talking about the cricket or the rugby league or something, and Americans will just say their same cliched shit, and you're like, okay, great. But you just actually want to talk about the sport. But maybe Twitter isn't the best place for that. There's other platforms. Twitter is pretty American centric, though.
It is.
But I like talking to all cultures. I mean, I find it fascinating. I went to a Vietnamese wedding for the guy who lives across the road. He got a new Vietnamese wife. She's a good 30 or 40 years younger than him. She
Wow.
goes, yeah, and he's a doctor, and he invited us to the wedding, and I don't like weddings, Max. It's annoying.
I remember you saying this.
I went to the wedding, and it went half an hour, and I was bored, and we went to lunch, and I did the lunch, and I was done. I was done. I wanted to go home, get in my casual clothes. And he's like, "You've got to come home," because he lives across the street. My male friends are coming over. We're going to drink tonight. And I'm like, I don't really drink, so you do it with your friends. And he's like, it'd mean so much to me and my family. It'd be an honor if you come. I'm like, oh, fucking hell. And my wife's like, he'll be there. And I'm like, God damn it. So I go over there. And on their wedding night, the men sit at this table, women bring out a food and then fuck off inside and do women shit. And they just sit there like kings and drink and say cheers a lot. And it's insane. It's a weird wedding night.
So the men and the women do agree.
Not to right at the end, they come out there and they're like, I said, you guys drink a lot because I was mainly drinking Pepsi Max and pretending it was alcohol. I don't want to drink.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, wait until you see the girls from the Mekong Delta. Have you ever seen a Mekong Delta girl drink? I'm like, no, I haven't. And they're like, well, it's amazing. They drink us all under the table. I'm like, okay.
They sound fun.
It is fun. It was fun. It's interesting. So I'm very interested in other people's cultures. I think it's funny. You learn a lot. It's different perspectives.
So the wedding was a good experience.
Well, it was an experience. It was an interesting experience, but I do not enjoy weddings at all. No. But another experience I had recently, I went to the cricket in Sydney just after Christmas, and I was there for a couple of days. And after one of the days, I met my first Twitter person, which is Eggplant Frank. He was at the cricket as well, and he goes, "I'll meet you at a pub afterwards." And he wanted to meet me at this one pub, but it didn't have a cool name. And I wanted to go to the Bat and Ball, which is a cricket pub. So he had to walk further. And yeah, I met him. We had a couple of beers at the pub. My son just sat there quietly waiting for us to have a couple of beers. And he's like, who is this guy? Don't worry about it.
That's kind of amazing. You actually met one in person.
I know. But he had a pink shirt on, which I found disconcerting. Where do you stand on the pink shirts? You're a fashion guy. It was
The
very
pink
light,
shirt.
light pink.
It depends how you're wearing it.
On your chest. How do you wear a shirt? Up your ass?
What? First of all, Eggplant Frank seems like a good guy and kind of a manly guy, right? Like,
I'll give you the defense though. At this cricket match every year, they do this big charity game. Well, this huge cricket guy, his wife died of breast cancer. So they've turned it
okay,
into a breast cancer day, and they do encourage you to wear pink. Doesn't mean, but I'm like, I'm not following the herd, man. I'm just going to wear a black t-shirt. Fuck off. Fuck you and your pink shirts. But he wore the pink shirt, and I'm like, a guy wearing a pink shirt. None of my friends in where I'm from would wear a pink shirt.
again, cultural differences.
Yeah, because the city boys are kind of gay and effeminate.
Do you think Frank went out and bought the pink shirt for the match, or do you think he had it already?
I don't know. I don't know.
We're gonna have to ask him.
No, I will. But yeah, So you think it's fine in the right setting?
It's fine in the right setting, or sometimes it could work, but I really don't have any kind of instances where it could, other than a breast cancer event.
But you don't have to do whatever. And those 50,000 people there. Does will more people die if I wear a black shirt? I don't think so.
No, no, I think it's just more. I mean, when you go see your local team, do you ever wear like their colors?
No, I just wear my normal clothes.
What about the Rabbits? Do you have like a Rabbits jersey that you wear?
No,
Okay, good.
what for? I'm not in their
I
team. I support the team. I want them to win, but I'm not one of the players. So why would I be wearing their jersey?
I agree.
And I've noticed that in your culture, people will wear the jersey with the dude's name on the back, a specific person. Whereas in
Yes,
Australia, you'll buy the team colours with no name on the back. You're just wearing their playing colours that they'd wear on the ground, but not a person's name. That seems a little hero worshipy and a bit too full on.
it is. But it's even worse if you get your own name on it.
Do you think so? I think
Yeah,
that's
because
less
like
worse
you don't play on the fucking team, so what are you putting your name on a jersey for?
because you're dreaming as if you did.
Then
I
that's
think
a
that's not
problem.
as bad.
I think it's worse.
I think the guys that wear I don't know, who's a famous footballer? Tom Brady or something.
Yeah, let's say Tom
What do
Brady.
you what are you in love with him? You want to be his boyfriend? Like what are you doing?
I agree. I don't get it.
Well, can you explain it to me? From you must have talked to guys that do it.
Uh, there, everybody I know does it. I think
Really?
it's just their way of supporting the team
No,
and like to show they like that player. And some guys, like a Tom Brady, I work with a guy, he has a Tom Brady college jersey. He has like multiple jerseys, like home, away,
where
different
does he wear
teams
all these
he's on.
jerseys?
He wears them like to the bar on football days.
Right. So appropriate places. He
I
doesn't
would
wear
never
them
do it.
to go to the store or something.
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
And like black guys, I think can get away with it. They
Why?
wear, I don't know, they can just get away with a lot more fashion wise.
Can they though?
Yeah, they'll wear just any jersey is like streetwear anytime. Yeah, they can get away with it. I think.
I don't see how. I don't see how it's different.
They get a pass. I don't know.
I think you need to expect more from your black people
No, I mean that's they kind of get like a good pass fashion wise. They can pull shit off that I could never do.
because you idolize them.
I don't idolize them.
You do. You think they're cooler than you.
Probably, but I think a lot of people are cooler than me.
Well, that is true. You look at that fucking hoodie. I mean, Jesus.
This is nice. This is my golf shirt. This is a nice shirt.
I
It's
hate
got
it.
like a,
It looks like you've been painting. You
it
painted your
does.
ceiling and there's just like paint drips all over your shirt.
Well, that's why I got it in case like I get a stain on it or something like that. You really can't tell.
Yeah, if
Because
your
if this was
boyfriend
like,
comes on your chest, you won't know because it looks like
no,
he's been doing it for a while.
listen,
I'm trying to be supportive. I'm trying to
it
be
does kind of
authentic.
look like I'm jizzed on, doesn't it?
Yeah, massively.
I would
Uh,
take it off, but that would be even gayer, right?
yeah, very gay. Do you still listen to podcasts at all? Anything?
Yeah, yeah. I still keep up with MLC.
How do you do it?
I'll tell you what, I don't listen to the Brown Snake interview series because are you on permanent hiatus? What the fuck?
I've just been lazy. I'm very lazy.
I think you need a nerd.
Where do you get nerds from? Like India?
Maybe.
Okay, you be the nerd.
I'm not that nerdy.
I
I'm
know it's a
different
problem.
nerdy.
I get so lazy, and you think, oh, I don't want to talk about anything. It's boring, and it's too much. There's too much podcasts. And all that world that I used to listen to, I don't listen to any of it. None of it, ever.
But a lot of your friends you kind of met through this, right?
So be
The
it.
community.
Yeah, but MSC changed. I didn't change. MSC changed.
You're right.
It became not very good.
Would
So
you
I stopped.
consider it a betrayal?
No, actually, I don't. I've thought about that. Some people do. They get angry and go, "Oh, he's sold out, or he's done what he thinks he needs to do to make money, and it's now quadrupled the amount of content. It's too much for me." And I don't care about the Dabbleverse dorks. I don't want to. I don't even know what a Dabbleverse is. It's all gay. I don't like it. I don't know how anyone could listen to it.
I
With
totally
you,
understand what you're saying.
but you still listen to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I still like Kevin and his personality, and
Yeah,
that
me too.
hasn't changed.
He's a funny guy. I just wish he'd be like interview more comedians, not losers. Because the
That's what a
losers,
lot of people say, but I never really liked his comedian interviews.
really.
Not really.
So you prefer how it is now?
I wouldn't say that. I've just always liked his perspective on things. And just his personality, watching the madness.
It is entertaining. It used to be.
You
I
could
still
still
watch.
check in.
Yeah, I might watch like a 5 minute misery love clips thing, and I'm like, what? Who are these people? What's going on? And then I get after 5 minutes, I'm tapping out.
I think MLC needs a nerd too to take the week of content and Misery Love Clips does a good thing, but I think you could kind of mash it together with some highlights and people could still keep up with the show without having to dedicate 12 hours a week to it.
Yeah, that's my theory, right? You need a way for the casual listener to stay abreast of what's going on and who people are.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
We need more nerds.
We need more nerds, but we should keep them in India. They can do it over Zoom. You need a haircut.
I just got one.
It's not enough of.
I got one on Friday.
No, who are you trying to be? Ferris Bueller? Come on, man.
I got one on Friday.
All right,
See?
Ferris. Don't crash.
I got the fade.
Yeah. I don't like all that on top, man. There's a lot going on.
You're funny because you hate bald people and you hate me for having a slightly longer hair.
Did I say I hate you?
You were just kind of ragging on my hair.
Uh, I work
What do you have
outside.
against bald people?
Nothing. I just think it's funny to
You
mock
just like
them.
to fuck with them?
Yeah, I don't actually give a shit. What do you think I actually give a shit about, Max?
Um,
I've barely got a pulse.
Women crying?
I don't care. Just leave me alone. Who
You
gives
don't
a
like
fuck?
women crying, right?
It's funny to me to piss people off. I like getting reaction. It's funny. I like to rattle the cage, you know. But I
And
don't
can
know.
I name a few other things you don't like?
Sure.
Um, Middle-aged party guys.
Well, it's a bit sad, isn't it?
What are your thoughts?
Sad.
Okay, what about this one? Muscular women.
Well, it's just not for me. They're
Okay,
fine to do whatever they want, but it's just not for me.
I got another one. Teriyaki sauce.
It's disgusting. Do you like it?
Yeah, I could deal with it.
What's your stance on Portuguese sauce? I had that today. It was terrible. So hot.
What is this, Portuguese?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
My wife brought home this like meat and salad thing, and she goes, "Oh, do you want some?" I'm like, "Sure." So she put some in a plate. I had it, and my mouth was on fire for like 20 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like a
Fuck
pepper
Portugal.
based.
Fuck Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm done with Portugal. Lisbon can burn.
So you like pepper, but you don't like pepper based sauces and dressings.
I don't like chili, but I like curry. Wow, wow.
What about a spicy curry?
Was curry is
Like
spicy. It's a
it is.
spice.
Okay. Yeah, but like if you had like a dish with curry in it that was also spicy, no.
Well, curry is spicy. What are you talking about?
Well, curry's a spice, but it's not spicy in the sense that it's like there's heat to it.
There is if you have a proper curry.
Okay, maybe I
Have you
haven't.
ever had a green curry?
No.
Yeah, well, come on, get out of your comfort zone. Stop eating
All right, I got
snow.
one
Get
more
out
for you.
there.
I got another one for you.
Go.
Weed gummies.
Oh, I think all that's again, if you just do it by yourself, like if you drink inject heroin in your eyeballs, weed gummies. I don't give a fuck. But to make it your personality or like, look at me, I'm having gummies over here and posting pictures, it's embarrassing. It's
It's
lame.
something you shouldn't discuss, like vaping.
There is something embarrassing about vaping, isn't it?
I think it's kind of stupid looking.
Yeah, because well, we grew up with more cigarette aesthetics. Cigarettes are cool.
Exactly. Just fucking smoke.
Exactly. Just die like a man.
Exactly. Yeah, I think vaping might end up being worse for you anyway.
I don't care. Oh, it's like
And
I
they're
want
all
a little dragon.
strawberry
It's got
flavored.
bubblegum
Oh man.
flavors like a child. Grow up. All right, we got to go. We've run out of time. Thank you, Max. I hope this gives people food for thought and they can give their opinion.
Snake, let's do this soon.
Maybe 8 months.
I'll see you then. It's a
Thanks,
date.
brother.